many products, easy way to create this thing, and I start to prepare the demo in two parts. The first part I show you the way to create basic elements and cheapest element, the base for the net, and then start to step by step show you the different steps to create the scene. Okay, the first step is know, for example, two kinds of materials to create the stem. Wait a moment, please.
Simultáne sa to prekladať nedá, keďže zbytočne by som uskákal, ale môžem vám vlastne v nejakých blokoch hovoriť o tom, čo on povedal. Teraz v podstate poďakoval, privítal vás. Jorge, ako asi isto viete, je zamestnanec AMO, takisto člen teda spoločnosti AMO. Dnešný workshop bude v troch blokoch, dva robí Jorge, to znamená, že základ robí tú podložku, následne potom Janko Moravčík dokončí model svoj, na kamufláž, a v druhom bloku Jorge vloží ten model, ten tank do tej podložky a vlastne to ukončí. Nebudem mu skákať do reči, ale vlastne on keď začne to robiť a bude niečo dôležité, tak ja vám to preložím. A takisto potom aj s tými otázkami, ak budete niečo sa chcieť opýtať, kľudne po česky, po slovensky, preložím, aby vám mohol povedať.
Okay, the first step is know the different type or different elements or different products to get the base. Okay, the first one it's called styrofoam. It's an island to use in a construction to isolate the rooms of the house, and the other one it's a new product of AMO that is very easy to use. Numbered School Tech 4K. It's a product that it's easy to cut, easy to model, and easy to adapt to the necessities of your business. Okay. In this case, I show you both products. In both models, you can see that is very easy to cut using just a cutter, a big cutter, okay? And if I like to take a small vignette or small piece to create the vignette, just need to do cut. And after that, in easy steps, have the base to create the stem, okay? You need to cut, it's easy to cut, and in this moment you can use just the cutter to create the different levels of the base. You can use this one, and you can use, for example, where is for example, if you need to create a small part, you need just a tweezer. Another time the cutter. Be careful with the fingers, and start to model and create the volumes of the base. Okay, at the same time you can use a styrofoam. It's the same process using the cutter and create the different areas to cut and create the volumes of the base. I prefer this one because it's more easy to cut, to move and remove than this one. Now you can take it and create all the volumes and the levels of the base. Okay. In this case, this step is very easy, and don't like to spend many time to demonstrate this process because I prefer the time to create and show you different steps to paint and and construction the base, okay? Now, after create the base, now it's time to use a paste called Dash Pronto. You know Dash Pronto? It's a paper paste you can buy in paper shops, and it's very easy to move. Just need to create a small layer of the product using any material, and after that using white glue glue over the base. Okay, this is a typical base that I usually create for the demos. In this case, I have 2 levels. In these levels, there are in the upper level you use to create and use, for example, trees and fences, elements to make attractive the base. Okay. Start to tell you.
I will tell you. Hlavne teda pre vás na začiatku ukázal jeden produkt AMO, čo je v podstate polystyrenová podložka, ktoré sa dajú úplne jednoduchým spôsobom nožom, špátelom nasekať a vytvoriť ten základ tej podložky. Následne on používa tzv. Tekutý papier. Dá sa to buď kúpiť priamo od ich ako produktov, ale že je to bežne dostupná vec aj v papierníctve, ktorou sa vytvaruje ten povrch vlastne tým tekutým papierom si to celé pripraví.
Okay. Now, after the Dash Pronto is dry, I start for me the most beautiful and most exciting process is to start to create the atmosphere of the vignette. Okay. The first step is paint the base with a basic color. In this case was a 6K Russian brown because I like to use after to dry. This product is a acrylic mood with the same tones of colors. That's the paint. Okay. Now we take the paint, shake a little bit, and after that use the airbrush to apply the paint very fast. You can use 2 brush if you don't have airbrush and paint the base in the same time. Okay. In this case, we will go very fast to paint the base. No need to create volume with light and shadows because after finish the scene you can see that it's not necessary. Just need to paint the base because the original base is white and I need to paint the base with basic color. Okay. The process is very fast to paint because the paint of AMO it's fast to dry and fast to put over the surface. Okay. After that, just need dry this one. And in a few minutes you have dried the base. Okay. The next step was maybe the process that need more time because this product has a slow dry. You can accelerate the process using the high dry, but in fact I must do it because I need that you show all the process in just 6 hours. And then after that you take the product and open. Be careful. Maybe it's very dirt. You take an old brush and take a little bit to put over the base. If you have any questions, please.
Čo sa pýtali, zatiaľ kým toto aplikuje, tak len poviem. Vlastne potom na tú základňu nanesíte farbu, on používa farby od AMO, priamo od nich, ktoré sú rýchlostnúce. Netreba ich dokonca ani riediť a tým, že použije aj sušič na vlasy, tak vlastne ešte urýchli ten proces. Následne on má pripravenú už druhú základňu, ktorá je urobená, pretože túto, ktorú teraz tvorí, to nebude tá, kde bude priamo dávať ten model, pretože teraz aplikuje vlastne to tekuté blato, respektíve teda takýto roztok, len ten schne niekoľko hodín. Takže on už má predpripravenú, len vám to chce ukázať, aby ste videli ten postup.
No questions? Okay, perfect. Then, obviously, the standard time to dry the acrylic mood is more or less 8 hours, okay? But you can accelerate the process using a high dry to accelerate the process of dry, okay? In this case, I put in this big net, in this base, I put the dark mood at 9:30, and now it's near to dry completely, okay? And then, after applicate the dark mood, you can use, if you like, for example, I usually use and find in a country, in a field, a lot of natural products to make more natural and more realistic the stain. In this case, I have, for example, what's here? Here. You can see natural elements. For example, you take in the ground, you can take some sand on some elements natural, for example, mussels or rods, small rods, to create more texture. In this case, obviously the product is great. You see that the product is no density and or don't have a lot of density, and in this moment you can use and create more texture just applicate the product over the mood. Why? Because after dry or near to dry the product, this element is integrated in the mood. Okay. You see that now it's no easy to work with it because it has a lot of liquid. Okay. After 2 hours, you can take this example. You see that the water of the product is evaporated. Okay. In this moment, the texture of the product changes a lot. You don't have water, and it's very easy to start to create the texture. In this case, we can use, Scotch Brite. It's a element to clean the kitchen, and I need to start to create texture, same that the mood with the terrain. Okay. You take the product and start to push over the texture, like the same with the mood or in the realistic terrains. Okay. After that, if I need to put the tracks of the tank, for example, I need the tank of. For example, you can use a little bit of this element and try not dirt the tank of Jan. Apply this soft paper on the mood. It's possible to take the tank too.
Spravím samozrejme neodbornú prácu a manipuláciu. Bežne to tak nerobím.
Okay. And secure that is not dirty the tank. Start to apply the tank over the mud. Create the details of the track. After that, open the paper, and we have now the track over the mood. We can too make, for example, the foot of the figures, or another kind of elements to create the effect of movement, constant movement over the mood. For example, you can take the border of the brush and start to create the path of the tracks or wheels. Very easy. For example, with this tool. Before, because when the product is dry completely, we can use the elements to create how can I say, pots of water over the terrain.
Hej, pravdepodobne, že pokiaľ vlastne chcete, on teraz vlastne vysvetľuje, že kým ešte nie je zaschnutá tá pasta. Ona už je zaschnutá niekoľko hodín, ale dajme tomu, že nejaké 2-3 hodiny už sa s tým dá pracovať. To, čo vám ukazoval, bolo ako najjednoduchšie urobiť stopy a tým, aby nezašpinil ten model, použil tú fóliu. A teraz vlastne vysvetľuje, že tie ostatné, tú štruktúru toho povrchu sa dá urobiť niekoľkými úplne jednoduchými spôsobmi. A to, čo chce vysvetliť, je vlastne, že pokiaľ chcete vlastne to upršané, nejaké počasie, viete urobiť nejakú tú kaluž, následne tam potom dať vodu, keď to zaschne, tak sa to dá použiť.
Repeat the process to apply the tank over the mood. And it's ready to dry completely, okay? We can accelerate the process utilizando the dry hair. In the same process, we can create more texture in the line of the street of the terrain, using, for example, ultra glue, little concentrator to use the ultra glue. I mix with water. And 50% ultra glue, 50% over. And in the border, apply a little bit of water with ultra glue, and using the same product that I used to create more texture, apply carefully over the border to create more texture, okay? This step is interesting because when this element is dry, when I apply the grass, the transition between the up terrain and the terrain with the mud, it's more natural or more realistic, okay? We will apply another time the ultra glue. And apply the rest of the natural elements over the place. Sure that they got question for me? Sure?
Nejaké otázky? Ak máte niečo, kľudne sa môžete pýtať aj počas jeho vysvetľovania, ak vás niečo zaujíma.
As you can see, now I have a natural transition between the upper levels and the level of the mood. It's necessary to create more realistic effects over the base, okay? Because in the next steps, we process to applicate the natural and vegetable elements to create more natural realistic effects, okay? Now, no questions? No? It's easy for you? Okay. Okay. While we time to dry these elements, I show you two pieces that I paint in my house to complete the decoration of the base. Okay, in this case, it's a fences of Modelfest 2172. It's very easy to paint. Just need to paint using a dark wash, and after the dark, it's over the real wood. Just need to apply a dark wash, and once the product is dry, just need to use two kinds of colors of acrylic paint to use a small brush to create the different tones between the base color and the light colors. Must to apply it using or creating effects of light over the base. In this case, we apply it here. And C is the correct position, and in this case is a new reference of a new mark in Spain called Oda models that usually make a lot of reference of trees. In this case, it's a trees used in this scale, a 172 scale, and we can use. I try to move over the base. It's really good glue. Don't worry. Okay, perfect. And just apply over the base too. And I see that the composition is near to finish the basic elements, okay? we take the instant dry and use excuse me, I put the cyano glue over the elements that I must glue. And let's wait to dry. Okay. What do you think? People don't see anything. Don't any questions? I think it's very easy to do, or?
The tree is from roots.
Sorry?
The tree is made from roots.
It's a commercial tree. It's a commercial tree.
Okay.
It's resin, and but I usually make my own trees using a base with metal wire, and use the same product that make the base is dash front. It's easy to modeler, and after wait 2 hours to process of dry with a scriber used to create the texture of the art tree. In this case, it's just a great commercial tree, especially dedicated to small scales, for example 172 or 148. Okay.
Thank you.
Nothing to you. I need that you need to listen questions. Okay. Now, just have a lot of time. I have a lot of time. Okay. The next process is to apply the new product, grass. Amo has a lot of new reference of grass. In this case, I use with 3 weights, 2, 4, and 6 millimeters, and there are 6 reference of colors. 3 about winter and autumn period, and the three others reference is about spring and summer. Okay. In this case, I use 1 of summer and 1 of early autumn to make a mix. I don't know if you can see well the tones, to create a variety of elements in the terrain. Okay. Now we take the terrain here and prepare the mix using this applicator. It's an easy applicator, just when 8 volts to power, and it's fast and really easy to use. Okay. In this case, I use the box to create the mix. Applicate the first reference, and after that the second reference. and remove to mix well both reference. After that, I clean the surface of my table because I know I need to remove many times. I recommend it when you use this product that you have a small, big sheet of paper because it's necessary to remove the excess of the grass, and it's possible to use another time. Okay. Then I take the base. Another time use this product to cover the mud zone. Here.
Teda pripraví tieto veci, tak vám v krátkosti vysvetlím, čo vlastne robí. Používal hneď vlastne od začiatku, lepidlo, na ktoré dával nejaké kúsky ešte, aby zvýraznil ten terén, to znamená, že môžete použiť kamienky, piesok, čokoľvek iné. Následne použil aj produkty od AMO, nejaké trávy a podobne. Takisto aj ten strom a ten plot. Sú to hotové výrobky, ktoré sa samozrejme dajú aj skrečovať, vyrobiť doma. Tieto sú hotové, vlastne komerčne dostupné, ktoré si viete kúpiť. Tam potom vysvetľoval aj pánovi, za to sa pýtal, že konkrétne na ten strom, že tento je výrobok celý v tomto stave kúpený, ale on vysvetľoval aj, ako si doma vytvára vlastné. Vlastne používa drôt, tí, čo robíte dioramy, to určite poznáte, použije drôt, obalí to nejakou hmotou, potom vie vytvarovať konkrétne ten maket toho stromu. No a teraz vlastne ide použiť flokovačku, vlastne s statickou elektrinou.
Aplikátor.
Ja.
Co se tomu říká? Jako...
No, flokovačka.
Či české se aplikátor, jako co má jako tí modeláři?
Áno, po česky pravím povedzme aplikátor, no vo všeobecnosti je to zaužívané, aj ten názov, tá flokovačka, dá sa to dokonca vyrobiť aj doma, úplne jednoduchým spôsobom. Táto je originál od AMO, výrobok. Zmiešal dva druhy trávy, vlastne letom a potom takú nejaký prechod medzi letom a jeseňou. Zmiešal to do jedného a teraz bude aplikovať tým aplikátorom, teda tou flokovačkou, priamo trávu do toho terénu.
Is possible use this applicator for a longer tree, for example 12 millimeters?
Sorry?
Is possible to use this your applicator?
Yeah.
For instance, this grass for longer pieces of static grass, for example
8 millimeters, for example.
You have 6 millimeter long.
Yes.
And longer are 20 millimeters.
For example, 8 or 10 millimeters.
Maybe your AMO, but for example, models have 20. Is possible? Is there any problem?
No.
No?
No, I tried this product using 8 millimeters and 10 millimeters. You don't have problem. In fact, we prefer to use the difference to use a small long tall of the millimeters. Yeah. Is this one. If the hole is very fine, it's impossible or really difficult to create a grass texture using a big tall grass. In this case, we prefer to create hole more big, because it's possible when the small sorry. 6 millimeter, 4 millimeter, or 2 millimeters, is maybe that you use a lot of. but the final result is perfect. And if you need to use 8 or 10 millimeters, the result is perfect too. Okay. In this case, you can see the result in a few moments. I don't remember, or I forgot to applicate more natural reference. In this case, stones. It's just a natural stone you can find in many places. But I need to applicate it over the base because I need to create more natural textures, natural effects. Okay. You can use.
He also asked if it's possible to applicate longer. I think 20 millimeters.
No.
I think the 12 is normal. 12
millimeters? No, it's difficult. It's very difficult. In this case, I prefer to use.
Maybe you have nice holes in your applicator for this.
I don't think so. I applicated 12 millimeters in. It start to maybe difficult, but I'm not sure. And I never use more grass more than 10 millimeters. I never use, and when I must to use more taller, I usually directly with my hands. Okay. Okay. Take variety of stones, and with the same instant dry glue, glue over the base, changing the kind of stones. To create a more variety base of the stem. Okay, wait to dry the stones, and let's start to applicate the grass. Okay. You can see that usually use commercial reference to create scenery and natural elements to create the scenic. Because one of my favorite hobby is walk in the countries and see the surfaces and try to find a lot of elements that I can use in my scenery, because use with commercial products is great, but I try to find the plus of variety of elements, using at the same time a commercial reference and a natural reference that you can find in here. For example, in this town, it's a lot of. I spend the day with my friend walking around the town, and I always see the surfaces of the terrain. I see a lot of grass, and I try to collect these elements in small box and use in combination with natural reference, because I try to reach the terrain, reach the visual of the terrain. I remember, or I recommended that if you have or try to spend many time making dioramas, spend time finding a lot of elements that you can applicate it in the base. Okay. Do you think you understand?
Ak ste teda nerozumeli, hovorili o tom, že ja si myslím, že väčšina z vás, ktorí robíte diorámy, poznáte túto takú úchylku, nazvem to, lebo vlastne 2 dní a chodili sme s ním po Šumperku a naozaj, ako aj spomínal, kdekoľvek sme prišli do parku, že to sa díval na zem a hľadal. A hľadal nejaké kamienky, hľadal proste trávu, čokoľvek a to vysvetlila, že to zbiera, že nemusíte používať len tie komerčné výrobky, ktoré sú, ale vy zájdete do prírody a vy dokážete nájsť čokoľvek, čo vlastne v tých dioramách potom viete využiť. Ale tí, čo robíte tie dioramy, chodíme po súťaži, ak vidíme, že tá diorama nie je postavená len z tých komerčných produktov, ale že ten človek naozaj použije do dioramy čokoľvek. A on to vlastne teraz aj odporúčal, že je dobré to robiť, aby ste si všímali, že čo v tej prírode vlastne ja následne to do tých podložiek používali.
Okay, really this element is not necessary if you dry completely the base, but in this case I need to make the process more speed to show you all the process and create the vignette. In this case, we cover the zone of the mood because I don't like to mix the grass with the mood. Okay. The next step is another time is use ultra glue with what is ultra glue? Ultra glue with water.
Glue is from Amo?
Yeah.
No. It's white glue, yeah?
No, yes.
Mix with water.
Prezentuje tú značku, ale samozrejme, že my modelári používame jednoduchý Herkules, zriedí sa jednak jednej modelári. No vy to možno, že nevidíte, ale za tým televízorom má aj dva Herkulesy. Keďže je kým je, tak vlastne musí používať, ale nikde nie je napísané, že sa vlastne musí používať práve ten
to sbírání takového za mě je to trošku komplikovalo nárazu, ale nebo na letišti, ale... Právě tam se mali tam takové pětlí, že takového toho listí a to prostě jo, jsou dobrý.
In this case, I remove the fence another time because I think it's better to apply well the grass. Okay. After dry the wait a moment. After dry the cyano glue, I apply the mix of glue and water. Try to work by zones because it's possible that if you try to cover off the space that you need to apply the grass, it's possible that the first layer is dry, and then it's preferable to use just by zone and use the applicator after that. Okay, and start to apply the product. Open the power and start to apply it. Off. And really it's necessary to wait 4 or 3 minutes to dry but in this case it's not necessary, and I just to remove the excess. If you see a little bit of mix of wood and glue, repeat the process. And remove another time. And if you like, you can see the effects.
If you use a lot of materials, artificial, commercial, natural, do you paint them after finally?
No, depends. For example, in this case of the grass, if the reference is not exactly the color that I need, I usually paint another time. In fact, my way to make model is try to find the more exactly appears of the real. Okay. For example, when I must to paint, for example, the grass, I use, for example, in this case you can see forest green, like a base color. I add two layers or two layers of green forest with a little bit of yellow to convert the fiber in 3 tones. Green base, first layer of base with yellow, and the second one with yellow. And at the end, when this fiber is dry, I use a dry brush to applicate in knowing all the tones, in concrete tones, for example, ochre brown. In this moment, your fiber has 4 tones. But I like to create more realistic effects, and then when I finish, because the base is a product, no, what is the problem? No, it's a stable base. I use, for example, one filter. It's gray for gray green. And over the base, I take, for example, a pipette and take a little bit and up and push over the terrain. And then you have at the end 5 tones. First, the tone of the filter, take a little new tone of the surface, and obviously take the tone over the base of the fiber. And you have a fiber with a lot of tones, a lot of variety of colors, and make your base very beautiful and with different effects and different colors. Okay. About natural products, no, because I take this product because the real color for me is perfect. The problem is when I must to make moss. The step that I use to create the moss is you went for the street and you see a space with moss. I take this moss, I keep on a few layers of paper or newspaper, and keep in a dark zone. After 1 week, I open And usually the green tone of the moss keeping, and it's dry. And it's perfect because I have pieces with this kind of moss many years ago, and the tones and the color is the same. But usually usually paint the tones where I use natural effects. Sorry, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
What is the time of dry of this light blue?
Sorry?
Grass? What time for dry this light blue for grass? It's in a minute?
No. It's in 10 minutes is dry.
10 minutes.
10 minutes or less.
Okay.
We complete the process, apply another layer. We must to cover another time the mass tone.
So only small parts.
Sorry?
You make only small parts of grass.
I prefer. Obviously, depends if you room, it's a whole room or cold room. It's a hot room. It's possible that you apply the mixed white glue and water. In a few minutes, it's dry another time, and don't take well the grass. Okay. I cover another time. And in this moment, I try to cover all the space in this side. I think the process is very easy, and I hope that the final result that you see in the grass is great for you. Hope it. For me, it's perfect because I see that the fever is up, saying that realistic effects. And it's interesting because in the second part of the demo, when I use the snow, you can see it's very easy to put the snow between the fiber of grass, created a more natural, a more realistic effects than the other ways to apply the snow. As you can see, in just 1 hour, I have created the middle of the stem. Just need to have the products and the elements in the side of your table and start to create the process. Okay, repeat the process. Try to keep the mood tone covered and ready to start all the time. I think it's finished. Wait a couple of minutes and remove this test. In this case, you can see it's a part with ultra glue. It's easy to just applicate. I try to. Okay. Here. No, wait a moment. Yes. Remove another a little bit the base and start to applicate the product. And you can cover all the surface with ultra glue. Okay. Remove the excess of the product another time. and while the process of dry is on course. Very interesting to recycling all the material that I use for other layers. In my case, I spend some time in my house create a new mix with different reference and keep on small boxes too. Has a lot of mix or reference of grass and future projects. We finish in the other side. It's more small than this one. Create more mix of ultra glue and water. You can see the fluid of the mix. You need to and 50% mix and applicate over the base. It's important that if you need to cover thorns in this side that is not complete covered with grass, just need to use a little bit and put another time the grass. When you apply the mix of ultra glue between the stones, try to not touch the upside of the stones, because in the process of applying the grass, it's possible that the grass is glue over the stone, and in this moment maybe you must be more carefully to apply the mix. It's better to apply this process without the protector of the mud, but it's impossible because if I start to apply the grass over the mud is complete covered with the grass, and I like this. I don't like these effects. Another time, apply the grass. I really tell you that I don't like the silence. For me, it's very. For me, it's not good. I prefer that the people ask me questions. If you have.
Takže bude rád, keď sa budete pýtať kľudne aj na tie postupy, lebo že nemá rád ticho.
Important, and just know about questions, not just about this stand. If you have any question about the scenery in general, please ask me the questions.
Sa môžete pýtať aj iné veci, nielen tohto, ale celkovo, čo sa týka tých diorám alebo scenérií, ktoré robíte, alebo na ktoré sa chcete opýtať. Vie vám povedať, že nemusíte sa držať striktne tohto, čo tu teraz on vysvetlil.
if you ask a question about, for example, urban dioramas or vegetation in Vietnam, all questions about it for me is interesting to respond, not just about this kind of vignettes. And then if you have any question, please ask me.
What type of material do you use for sand in scale 72? For example, for Africa, diorama from Porto 2.
Sorry, repeat please.
What material do you use for sand in scale 22? Because normal sand is very big.
Okay, about this question, I have an answer that usually don't like to among members and other members of other marks. For me, it's very important to the realistic texture, the realistic scale, and for me, if I must to create not just in 172 or just 148 or no, in 135, I just use one thing, is dash prompt, the paste. Because, for example, I take a table, wood table. I use the paste of dash pronto, and using a metallic tubular, I create a fine layer, and I put over, for example, what is? You think that this is a zone of desert, okay? I applicate the layer of dash pronto and don't touch anymore. Why? If you take your computer, the monitor, and you take, for example, one figure in any scale, and you take a photo, a real photo of the desert with a figure, you reduce the image over the monitor at the same scale that your figure. If you see the photo, you don't see any texture on the desert, any texture. It's just how can I say this? Paint. It's just paint. Any product, for me, no, there is no any product in the market that can reproduce exactly the same texture of the desert. No. If you need a small scale, like for example 172, don't use any texture. Just use a paste to create a plain suffice, and just use the airbrush or the brush to create the effects of lights and shadows if you need. But don't need, for me, not necessary to use any product to create a sand texture. It's plain paint, just paint.
Thank you.
Now the members of Harmon have a little bad sounds over here, because I don't recommend any product to create. No. I must recognize that for me it's absolutely necessary to reproduce exactly the reference and the scale and the models.
It also depends what type of desert you are creating.
Sorry?
Like it depends on what type of desert.
Yeah.
It's in the diorama, because like there are like many kinds of deserts, like
yeah, I know.
More like stone deserts. So it depends.
When I make workshops with people that start to create demos in Spain, for example, I usually create private workshops, and the people ask me what is the first question that I tell the people when I start to my workshops. It's very necessary, it's very important, and absolutely necessary to find photographs about the realistic. And depends the texture that you see in the photos, you can create the same texture in just models, okay? For example, I told you that I use stones of different scales, different how can I say, tamaños, weights, different scales, weight. Sorry, you can see in my box, please. Here. You can see in my box. I have a little bit of different stones, more bigger, more smaller, and it's for me very important because depends the effect that I see on the photo. In the photo, I use different scales of in this case stones, but just see one photo can get the exactly effect in your scales. And for me, it's absolutely necessary, first of all, complete documentation about the place where you like to repeat. And obviously, there are not the same desert in, for example, in Sahara, and for example, in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, there's a lot of zones with big mountains of stone, with strats, and it's not the same that in the Gobi Desert. It's just sand, a lot of space with just sand, and in Afghanistan there are sand and elements with walls of stone, and obviously this stone broke, and on the floor there are a lot of stone. It's not the same. In this case, I recommend it always see the photos to create your own album of the extent that you need to recreate, and depends. But about for example, if you like to create a desert in Afghanistan, I usually do Das Pronto, but in this moment I saw that the texture of the terrain is not the same in the Gobi. I, for example, use a small clean tooth to pick off the surface and create texture. Okay, but always you need documentation. Always.
Že se bude teda asi se dělat ten tank, jo? A potom teda se to dokončí, jo?
Teraz bude vlastne to on, keď skončí tento základ, pôjde Janči, baráky.
A to je zhruba na kolik hodín?
Tak vlastne hodinu a pol.
Dobře. A
potom vlastne on ten hotový Janov tank bude vkladať do tejto...
Ok, na to dokončení, jo? Plus minus taky ta hoďka.
Áno.
For example, in this case... excuse me.
No, o 12. potom už začína workshop s Jankom Moravčíkom.
Takže 13:30 potom to pokračování.
Áno.
In this case, there are two stones with a mix of water, ultra-low water. We can do two methods. Repeat to cover the mood, or in this case, using tweezers, and just you can see well. Okay, perfect. Just need to remove a little bit with tweezers and over the surface. Not put, just open the twist and go down the grass. Be careful not applicate the grass over the mood. And remove. After that, as you can see, the perfect effect. Return to take the tree and take the fence and apply over the surface. And in fact, now repeat and we glue another time. Okay. the same process on the fence. And it's ready for the next step. I hope that the effects of the grass is you are agree. I hope when you see the effect of the grass, you consider it as well.
Looks very easy, interesting, but it isn't easy.
No, it's very easy to do it. Just
it's easy for you.
No. For example, if I take this one, now I spend 1 hour, I accelerate the process with higher. For me, it's very important that you consider this is a way to create mood. It's very easy, sure. As you can see, I apply the mood over the base, and you can see the surface after spend 1 hour to dry. Okay, just 1 hour. I isolate with hair dry. Just take this one and start to move and put over, and you can see that the texture is different. It's not difficult. You can create. Maybe you can wait 1 hour more, but start to push the scotch plate over the surface, and you create the first texture. Okay, it's not difficult. It's easy. Just wait 2 hours or 3 hours to dry the first step. After that, when you can get the first effect of texture. It's an anarchy move. Okay, you have the first texture. Okay, then you use the tank to put the wheels, or directly take, for example, a small brush and start to. As you can see, the move over both sides simulate the pass of the wheels. Sometimes you clean the brush and remove the excess of the mood, but you not just to pass the brush over the surface. In this case, you can see here needs more time to dry because it's a lot of water. Okay, but it's very easy. It's very easy. The same is I need to put the step of the shoulders. Imagine that is a foot of the shoulder. Sorry?
Footprints.
Footprint. Thank you. My English is very limited. And just push over the place to appear the footprint. In this case, it's more dry. If I pass another time. We use another time this kind of natural elements. Be carefully. And use another time the brush to integrate the elements. I think it's very easy. And if you wait more time, the excess of water disappears and create more texture.
Are there some products you can recommend for creating water effects or puddles of water?
For example, unfortunately, in the paint I can take this product because it's inflammable and it's not possible to take. But you know, ceramic varnish. It's a kind of varnish. It's a cross varnish based ceramic products that I use to create puddles. It's very easy to use. You just need to use a small glass, apply a little bit of the color that you need to create using the same color of the mood. Will be this kind of mood, another kind of mood. A little bit of let's say well, okay. You can a little bit, take a little bit, put, and using a pipette, apply the ceramic varnish. Read the mix, and with the same pipette, open only just to put over the terrain. And using the expansion of the elements, create the product. If you need to create water, I usually use a bicomponent resin, transparent resin bicomponent, because it's very easy to use and it's easy to dominate the technique. Just need to, it's in a glass you need to create to put 50% of one of the products and 10% of the other products. Mix the same with the ceramic varnish, a little bit of color, remove well, wait 5 minutes that the excess of the bubbles disappear, and just apply with the base. Move a little bit the base to expand the product the uniform way, and just cover. Because the ambient is a lot of dust. Just cover and wait 24 hours. After 24 hours, you can keep the surface flat, or using acrylic gel put over the surface and with the airbrush, a small explosion of air to create a small waves. And after the product is dry, just white with a mix of water and more or less 30% over the crest of the wells, paint a little bit, and create the effect of the. Yeah. Yes. There are two kinds of elements that are used to create water or bubbles. Bubbles or puddles? Puddles. Okay, this is the first part of the demo. The second part, when Jan finish, is just apply three kinds of snow. In this set, you can find three kinds of the snow. The first, two kinds of snow is powdered snow or white snow that I use to create snow between the grass, and the snow, pure snow, that you can usually find in the surface, for example, over the stones, over the determinate thorns, vertical thorns of the tree of, for example, the fences. And of course, when I glue the Jan's tank, over the tank, small pieces of snow to unify concept of the stem. And the last one will be using wet snow, the snow that is created on both sides of the street, near to disappear, mixed with the moon, and you create a complete winter stem. And this is the first part, and I hope to see you in the second part. Please.